Hello everyone, this is Daniel from fitnessblender.com, and today we're going to be doing a long upper body active stretch. Now if you've never done an active stretch before, basically what this means is we're going to be using our own muscles to pull us into our stretches. It's a really effective way to get a little bit of extra calorie burn, build up a little bit of extra tone and control over those muscles, as well as increasing flexibility and overall stretch. So should be a really fun routine. If you've never done one of these before, get ready to actually get a little bit sweaty because you're going to be working. Now, keep in mind, if you don't want to do this routine with the active stretch portion of it, you can actually do all of these passively like you would a normal stretch routine and make it a lot more relaxing. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone, we're going to be doing each one of these stretches for 30 seconds apiece with a 10-second break. You can do any of these either standing or seated. So we're starting off with our first one, which is an overhead reach and side bend. So one arm comes over top of your head. You reach across your body and then lean into the direction you're stretching with that arm. So contract with that bottom side, contract the inside of that arm, that shoulder to pull across. So this is an active stretch. So I want you to actively contract those opposite muscles from the direction you're trying to get that stretch. Just keep those lungs open. Tight squeeze. As you start to feel that stretch loosen up a little bit, just squeeze into it a little bit more. All right, let that relax. We're going to do the same exact thing in the other direction. So this time, arm up over on the other side, feet nice and close together, and just lean across, stretch across as far as you can. Again, contract the obliques and shoulder on that opposite side from the direction you're trying to stretch. Pull across, keep everything nice and contracted. As you feel that stretch loosen, just lean into it a little bit more. Keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. Let that relax. Next one is going to be a round to chest opener. So you're going to round those shoulders forward and then open your chest back up, just alternating back and forth. So nice and slow, round those shoulders forward, kind of like you're hugging a tree. And then reverse it, open those arms up, stretch those arms back and press that chest as far forward as you can. Then back again, round those shoulders forward, stretch it forward, and open it back up. Each direction, you should be working against yourself, opening that chest up as hard as you can, kind of pulling against that stretch in each direction. Let that relax. We're doing an arm cross stretch next. Normally you'd grab that elbow and pull across. For the active stretch version, you're just going to use those muscles to the inside of your chest, your bicep, to pull it up against your shoulders as tightly as you can, up towards that collarbone. You don't want to push into your neck. You want to keep it right across shoulder height. Just pull across. You should feel that muscle through that chest contract, through the inside of that shoulder, through that bicep. As you pull across, you should feel that stretch across your shoulder blade. Same thing the other direction. Let those arms shake out for just a second. Again, same thing, bring an arm up across, shoulder height. Just reach across, contract that chest, shoulder, and bicep. If you're doing the passive version, again, you can just grab that elbow and pull across with that. Stretch should be across your shoulder blade, across the upper part of your back. Just keep those lungs open, no holding your breath, but contract those muscles nice and tight as long as you're not feeling any discomfort or an overstretch in that opposite side. Let it relax. We're doing a chest opener next, so arms 90 degree parallel to the ground. Open that chest up, contract those muscles through your upper back, so through those rhomboids. Just squeezing back. If you want to get a little extra flex through it to feel through your forearm, flex those arms back a little bit as well. Again, you're working against the direction you're trying to stretch. So as you're trying to stretch your chest out, we're going to contract the opposite side, that upper back, to pull those arms back. If you're doing the passive version, you can just put your hand up against a wall and rotate away. You're gonna let that relax. We're gonna do the same position, but with your hands nice and low. So kind of about a 45-degree angle off of your body. And stretch them back. Just keep those lungs open. Same thing. Trying to pull those shoulders back, trying to pull those arms back to open that chest up. Press that chest as far forward as you can comfortably. Remember, you're only trying to stretch these as far as is comfortable, contracting those muscles as tightly as you can comfortably for that stretch on the other side and for that joint compression as you contract the opposite direction. All right, let that relax. We're going to do one more overhead. So similar position, but instead of straight out, it's going to be straight up. Arms straight above your head, pull back behind you. You don't want to be able to see those arms at all. So if you can see those arms out of your peripheral vision, try to get those arms a little straighter. Try to let those elbows kick forward. Arms should be pretty much straight, pulling straight back above you. So lots of deltoid, lots of rhomboid, trying to pull that shoulder back. Just keep those lungs open. Keep pulling back as tightly as you can. Let that relax. All right, we're doing overhead tricep extension. Normally you grab your elbow and pull across for this one. You're just going to use your musculature to pull yourself into this one. So contract that bicep to get that arm down to shoulder, and then contract that shoulder to pull across as much as you can. Nice tight squeeze. If you want to get a side lean into it to get that tricep, add not just tricep, but also through the side of that torso, feel free to do so. Nice tight squeeze on that bicep and that shoulder pulling across. Let that relax. Same thing on the other side. You might notice that as you do this, because you're squeezing so tightly and you're at the maximum range of motion typically, those muscles might feel, same thing on the other side, those muscles might feel like they're starting to kind of cramp up on you and tighten up on you. It's kind of a normal thing. Just kind of slowly work yourself back out of that movement so you don't let that muscle grab too tight. But otherwise, tight squeeze. Again, as tight as you comfortably can. You don't want to feel pain here. You just want to feel a good stretch. Let that relax. We're going to move into our rotator cuff series. So rotator cuff 1, you're going to have those arms just straight out in front of you, and you're going to open them up, keeping your forearm parallel to the ground. Just open it up as far as you can. Keep those elbows tucked into your side. So we're not opening back like this. We want to keep those elbows right next to that rib cage. Open as much as you can. It's going to feel really weird. Both stretch and burn at the same time. Again, like I said, just push into it as much as is comfortable. You want to feel that stretch. You don't want it to become painful. You're just kind of contracting against those muscles as tightly as you can. Let that relax. We're going to have that arm in the same position, but pull in the opposite direction. So this time, instead of out, we're going to go in. Most people have more range of motion than just parallel to chest, so good idea to put those arms behind your head, behind your back, and open them up from there. So you're actually trying to keep your arms away from your lower back, like it's going to sting your hands if it touches. So your idea is to keep those elbows in nice and close, squeeze and rotate those arms back out behind you. Again, you're going to have a tendency to want to lift. Don't lift, just rotate. And let that relax. All right, moving to a new position. We're going to be putting our arms parallel. So your upper arm is now parallel to the ground, straight out from your shoulder. It should be perfectly straight from left to right. And you're going to pull those arms back behind you. So you can kind of see from a side angle, you're actually rotating, keeping that elbow as close to in line with that shoulder as you can, and rotating those arms back behind you as much as possible. You're going to feel really weird, but they're really good stretches for that rotator cuff, as well as really good to build up overall tone and control of that rotator cuff itself. So same exact position, this time opposite direction. So pushing those hands back behind you. Again, keeping that elbow up to shoulder height, just rotating those shoulders back, those hands back, rotating from that shoulder socket only, not trying to pull those elbows in and out. Tight squeeze. Try not to lean over forward. That chest stays up nice and straight and tall. Just keep that position right there. Remember, upper arm parallel to the ground. And let that relax. All right. Next one, your arm is going to be, again, parallel to the ground, but your shoulders going to be, or your elbows going to be directly in front of your shoulder, straight out. So this one, you're going to open, we'll start with open on top. So open those hands out, away from one another. So you're kind of making a V with your forearms. Try to keep that elbow straight out in front of that shoulder. Just keep rotating out. Tight, tight squeeze. Keep those lungs open. And let it relax. All right, one more. We're going to do the same exact position. So elbow up, right in front of that shoulder. We're going to twist it the opposite direction. So press down away from yourself. Trying to, again, keep that elbow directly in front of that shoulder. Rotating those just from that shoulder socket. Rotating down. Watch that chest. Make sure you're not rounding forward or rounding back. I was trying to start rounding my shoulders forward. So try to keep those shoulder blades pulled back on your back as you rotate. And let that relax. All right, that's our first group. Take a real quick break, grab a drink of water. We'll be right back to finish the other half here in just a second. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this second group here. This one's start out really nice and easy, just doing a forearm stretch. So we're gonna start with pulling your forearms back, specifically those hands. So you're gonna try to contract the back of your hand, forearm, to pull those fingertips back towards your forearm as much as you can. Just tight, tight squeeze is gonna feel really weird. It's gonna feel really hot in that forearm, but just try to pull it as tightly as you can. This is a good stretch. If you tend to have a little bit of wrist pain while you're doing push-ups, this is a really good one to help increase that flexibility of that wrist. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble talking this morning. Same thing in the opposite direction. Let that relax for just a second. Arms come back up again. So this time, instead of up, you're going to be folding them down under, trying to pull your fingertips back to the underside of your forearm. Tight, tight squeeze. Round those hands if you want to. Ball them up in a little bit of a fist. But more importantly, trying to stretch those fingers back out towards your forearm as much as you can to try to get a good stretch to that wrist. And let that relax. All right, next one is going to be our neck series. So we're doing left and right side for this. Starting off with just a regular lean to the left. So you're going to lean your head over to your right shoulder, drop your right shoulder down to stretch the left side. Sorry, dropping your left shoulder down, leaning away from that shoulder. So your left shoulder is going to drop, leaning your head towards the right to try to get a really nice stretch to that left side of your neck. So you should feel like you're actively contracting your arm down and your head over. Your neck is a really sensitive area, so don't overstretch this. Go ahead and let it relax. We're going to do the same position. You're going to lean your head over, but this time you're going to look down towards your shoulder for this next position. So drop that left shoulder again, lean your head over towards the right, and then you're going to look down towards that right shoulder. So you should feel it roll into a different part of that neck. Keep that left shoulder pulled down. We're still working on the left side of that neck. Just hold it there, nice and comfortable. Remember, getting a good stretch, but not overstretching. And let that relax for just a second. We're going to do one more on the left side. So we're going to lean that head off to the left one more time. Drop that left shoulder one more time. This time look up towards the ceiling. So you want that chin looking up over that left shoulder. Like you're trying to pull your chin away from your left shoulder as much as possible. Simultaneously, again, dropping that left shoulder. Should feel it through the kind of the front and side of the left side of that neck. Just keep those lungs open, stretching those hands down, specifically that left shoulder, trying to drop that shoulder down. And let that relax. All right, we're gonna do that those same 3 ones on the opposite side. So starting leaning your head to the left, dropping your right shoulder this time. So right shoulder drops, lean your head over to the left side, and hold it right there. Now for some of you, you might notice that you feel like a pinch or a stretch on the inside of your neck, more so than on the outside. That's just gonna be a few muscles and ligaments and tendons that are getting a little bit compressed. That should loosen up as that stretch increases a little bit more. So again, dropping that right shoulder, leaning that head off a little bit. Focus on getting a kind of a twist to that neck rather than just kind of leaning it straight over to the side. So we're going to do the same thing again, but looking down to that shoulder. So drop that right shoulder, leaning that head over, and then tilt your chin down towards that left shoulder. Again, should you feel it kind of rotate into the back of that neck a little bit more. Just hold it there, stretching down with that left hand. Sorry, that right hand. I'm having trouble with my left and right today again. So right hand down, right shoulder down, leaning that head to the left, chin down to that right shoulder. And rotate and lift forward just as far as is comfortable. Let it relax. Just like any other stretch, everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as how much range of motion they have here. So one more, drop that right shoulder again, lean that head to the left, turn that chin up towards the ceiling. Pushing that shoulder down on the right as much as you can, leaning your head away from that right shoulder, chin up towards the ceiling. Like I said before, the neck is a really vulnerable area, so don't overdo this stretch. You just want to feel those muscles tensed, and you want to feel that stretch. You don't want to feel pain or discomfort with this. And let that relax. We've got 2 more for the neck. Let it all kind of relax out just a little bit. Next one is going to be chin to the ceiling. So you're just going to tip your head straight back and shove your chin up. So you're not just going straight back, you're actually kind of rocking your head on the top of your spine. Shove that chin forward. Try to get the rest of your spine nice and neutral. Both shoulders pulled back and down. Should feel this all just at the front of your neck. And let that relax. We're going to do one more. We're going to do the opposite. You're going to tuck your chin and kind of pull back. So, same thing, shoulders down and back, look down, and tuck your chin to your chest, and kind of feel like you're pulling your chin back up away from your chest, if that makes sense. So shoulders down and back, chin tucked. You want to kick your head forward, you're trying to pull it back. And let that relax. All right, we have 2 more to go through. This is an arm cross plus a rotation. So similar to our arm cross from earlier. This time, don't squeeze in quite so close. It's more about the rotation. So you're going to reach across like you're trying to grab something that's really far away from you. So just squeeze over, rotate those shoulders with a little bit of a lean and a rotation. Trying to get a good stretch through just a little bit different spot of that back and shoulder. So reaching straight across, parallel to the ground, rotation to that shoulder, and a little bit of a bend to the side. Back up nice and straight and tall. Just one stretch left. All right, same thing on the other side. Parallel to the ground, reach across, rotate that shoulder, and a little bit of a forward lean, a little bit of a side lean to get that torso in there as well. Should feel it all the way through that back, lower back, spine, and through that shoulder blade. Just keep those lungs open, keep stretching it across. and let that relax. All right, that was our last stretch. If you want to do some more, focus on a few other parts of your body, like doing some specific things for the wrist, by all means do so. Otherwise, this workout is complete. Hope you guys liked it. We'll see you next time.